So before I start the video, I just have a confession to make. My name is Brian Jenkins, and I am a recovering killjoy. It's been really a long time since I've celebrated myself. It's been a long time since I gave myself a pat on the back. It's been a long time since I've bigged myself up, and it's affected my personal life, my professional life. It's affected people around me like my wife, and I'm asking for help. All right, so I have a little fun with this. What I want to get into today is the power of celebrating, being your own hype man, being your own cheerleader, being your own person who's going to big yourself up. And I know this can seem a bit, not important, or seems like something that's unnecessary because, you know, when you're driving to be successful, when you're stuck into accomplishing the goal, the objective, and you want to get to the next level, who has time to slow down to celebrate yourself? You do, okay? It's so important. So what I want to go into is I want just to recognize that oftentimes, if you are like me, and I want to admit this, although I was, a bit dramatized right now, I want to recognize that this is one of probably the biggest Achilles heels that I have is not celebrating, not recognizing myself for my progress along my path, or whatever it is that I'm doing. It's so easy for me to get stuck into that goal, that objective, and push on. And then once I get there, it's like, okay, I got there. What's next? I'm looking for the next mountain, which there's nothing wrong with that per se. But if I'm never going to actually enjoy the process, if I'm never going to recognize what I've accomplished, how am I actually going to feel satisfied? And that's probably the biggest thing that is going to help to recognize your progress and to celebrate yourself, to be your own hype man, is to recognize where you're going. Recognize even when you get up, even when you mess up, recognize yourself for that. Celebrate the fact that you took the step to do the thing. Because what happens? We do the thing, we try to have the conversation with our wife, or we try to have that hard conversation with an employee, or we try to eat better, but we skip and we eat some crap food, and then we feel bad about ourselves. We say, you should have done it differently. Why didn't you say that? Why did you eat that? You're not going to win at this. You're going to fail. And we start this negative talk. But what if we celebrate ourselves for, you know what? All right, you ate the damn pizza, the entire pizza, but you know what? At least it was on your mind. What can you do tomorrow to change that? Okay, so maybe you snapped at your wife. Maybe you didn't really speak to her with the love that you wanted to, but at least you made the effort. We're not going to say the way that you did that was necessarily the right way for how you want to speak to her, but at least you made the effort. What can you do differently the next time? Celebrate yourself for that effort, okay? Because deep down inside, if we don't recognize what we have done or where we are, this is going to leave a lot of us to feel unsatisfied, unfulfilled, and unhappy, because there's never going to be a sense of completion, because the goalpost is always moving. Now, it's okay to move that goalpost to really expand your potential and do what you're meant to do. However, before you move it, stop and do the victory dance. Celebrate yourself. Again, this is something that I struggle with so much even today. So when we're talking about this, I also want to share some of the benefits when you are able to big yourself up. And I mean really stop and recognize your effort, your progress. It changes your mindset to something that's going to be more creative. You feel better about you, but not on a superficial level. You feel better about you where anything is possible. The vision of yourself expands. You're no longer keeping yourself in this narrow box. You're able to push yourself out there to do more, to see yourself in a different light. So your mindset changes and expands, and you expand as a person. Now, your creativity. If you beat yourself up constantly for what you haven't done yet or what you didn't do right, how likely are you going to be willing to try something different, to think outside the box? And this is where we start to crush in on ourselves because we're not bigging ourselves up to recognize what we've done so far. It also is going to allow us to take bigger risks in the things that we want to do. So if you are able to say, hey, you know what, maybe the outcome that I was looking for didn't happen, but at least I made the effort and I'm trying. It's here in the front of my mind. I'm on the right track. Can I learn from the mistake? Can I build off of that? Can I grow from that lesson, that outcome? Yes, you can. Now, understand this. I want to tell you a quick story. I was talking to my client 2 weeks ago, and he's in the real estate business, and he was sharing with me a win. So he walked out of his office, he was on his phone, has his mask on, and he's telling me this win that happened in his business. Now, we're also working with him to celebrate himself because, like me, he has a hard time doing that. So he's outside, he's like, yeah, I did it, I got it. And he's expressive in the middle of the street in Gran Canaria, right? In Las Palmas, the capital. And he's cheering himself on. And you know what happened? When he did that, strangers from across the street saw this man cheering. They had no idea why he was cheering. And I can hear them going, yeah, yeah. They were cheering him on. They had no idea what was going on because he allowed himself to express himself, to get happy, to big himself up, to express, his accomplishment. This accomplishment along the path, he invited other people in to celebrate. He invited other people to participate in his joy. Do you understand how powerful that is? So when you're looking to do something great in the world, yes, you will do great things, but understand something as simple as celebrating yourself is contagious. You will give other people permission to join you, to be happy. Now, we don't know what happened to these people as they went on with their day, but I have a hard time believing that they did not continue their day with a bit more pep in their step because they saw someone else get excited. So this also goes into other people around you who are close to you. When we hold on to this and we don't want to celebrate and we are always looking for the completion, the next best thing, and your wife or your girlfriend wants to be part of that, but you don't allow yourself to relax and celebrate the progress, recognize the steps you've made thus far, you are going to bring them down with you because they want to celebrate. They want to support you. They're going to be your cheerleader. My wife is an amazing cheerleader. But if I don't allow her to celebrate me, and I don't enjoy, because she'll recognize me before I recognize myself. And when she does, if I stop that, if I block that, I'm sending her a message to keep a distance. I'm sending her a message that I'm not worthy of that, to not recognize me. And so maybe when I do want to feel, that support from her and she doesn't give it to me because I've stopped it for so long, whose fault is that? What about if you have kids? I don't have kids yet, but I imagine I want to work on this now for when I do have kids. I want to come home and be able to celebrate with my kids and say, kids, Daddy did that thing. It's not done yet, but I did that next step getting there. We're going to celebrate. Let's go play. Let's go get ice cream. Let's do whatever. Let's celebrate together to bring everyone in part of it. It's also going to be your team, the people around you, your work environment. What about your employees? What about your coworkers? What about your family? Just everyone who's around you, let them celebrate. It's contagious. And you give other people permission and yourself permission to do it. Now, how can you celebrate yourself? There's a variety of ways. Now, what I do, and this may sound silly, but I literally have 5 alarm clocks on my phone that goes off daily, including weekends, to remind myself, to recognize myself for something I did in the last 3 hours. And there's unlimited amounts of opportunities. Kevin from Gran Canaria, how you doing, my man? Now, Kevin knows how to celebrate because Kevin has been celebrating some huge wins here in Las Palmas, showing people how to get into the social media, the social networking realm of the restaurant world to creating more business online. So if you guys are in that space, get on the call or get on the phone or get a message with Kevin, however we connect these days. And Kevin is going to help you win as well. And when we do this, when I have these alarms go off, I have to stop and give myself just 1 minute, not even 1 minute, just 30 seconds to say, Brian, what have you done good so far? And recognize myself for it. And it may sound silly, but it always puts me in a different mindset because while I'm working, I can get so stuck into that thing that I just forget. And it doesn't matter the size, the magnitude. Do you recognize yourself for setting the alarm clock? Recognize yourself for, just getting out of bed. Recognize yourself for completing that task in the morning that you did. Just get in the habit of celebrating it. It doesn't have to be 5 times. It could be 3 times. It could be 1 time. Next way you can do this, journal. At the end of your day, just reflect on your day, the things that you did good, the things that you are proud of. You can have another list on the things that you can improve on and what you want to do tomorrow, and that's great. But don't forget the celebration. Because again, if you're anything like me and you get stuck on what you can improve on, it's like a downward spiral. It never feels fulfilling. So journal. The next thing you can do is just to have, set your celebrations based on your tasks. So if you have a long-term goal, all right, if you have a goal that's going to be, let's say, a week, a month, or even 3 months out, or even a year out, set strategic stops in that. So once you achieve this objective, this step within that long-term goal, that you are going to celebrate, and set it now. It's something you have to do. Now, how you celebrate is up to you. It can be a simple recognition of that. You can take your family to dinner. You can go buy yourself that nice thing. You can bring the whole family involved if you have a family. Whatever that is, but enjoy that and anchor that in. So that way you know we're not going to go all the way back to the beginning again if something goes wrong in the future. All right? Now there's a variety of ways. Those are 3 very easy ways to do that. So you can set alarms like I do. You can journal, that I don't do too often, but I want to do more of. And you can set strategic celebration stops, points along the path of your long-term goal. Those are going to be 3 easy ways. So just to wrap up, guys, big yourself up. Be your own cheerleader, because it doesn't matter who is cheering you on around you. If you don't let that come in, like if my wife is going to cheer me on and I block her, it doesn't matter what she says. It needs to come from me. I need to be willing to recognize myself. I need to be willing to be proud of myself. And so if you are someone like me who finds it very hard to get a little bit of balance, between your ambitions in your professional life and actually some more of the personal success and fulfillment, call me. That's actually my specialty. I love seeing people win, but specifically I love seeing driven, ambitious, professional men succeed. Because I don't want them to give up their professional aspirations. I don't want them to extinguish their fire. But what I do want them to do is to start living the other part of their life more. Start living a life that's meant for them. Start getting that sense of fulfillment, that sense of purpose in, that sense of joy when it comes to their marriage and their relationships, when it comes to their health and their fitness, when it comes to the things that they want beyond work. Because let's be honest here. Once we get the work, once we get the professional success and the money, there's no guarantee that we're going to be happy on the other end. So if that sounds like you, reach out to me, and you can send me a direct message, email, however you prefer, and let's have a conversation and see how we can collaborate. Beyond that, guys, I'm going to go celebrate right now for doing this video, and let's get on with our day.